In this context, the chief advisor of the interim government, Dr. Muhammad Yunus, held meetings with representatives from the BNP, Jamaat-e-Islami and the National Citizens Party (NCP). However, despite participating in the discussions, none of the parties have shifted from their respective positions. On May 24th at 7:30 p.m., a four-member delegation of the BNP led by Standing Committee member of Dr. Khandakar Musharraf Hussain held a meeting with Chief Advisor Dr. Muhammad Yunus at the State Guest House, Jamuna. During the meeting, they demanded that a roadmap for the national election be announced by December following the completion of necessary reforms. The BNP expressed concern that any delay in the election could pave the way for the return of authoritarian rule in the country. However, the BNP expressed dissatisfaction as the meeting did not yield the expected outcome. The chief advisor did not provide any assurance regarding the prompt announcement of an election roadmap. Additionally, the BNP raised concerns about the neutrality of the interim government and demanded the resignation of student advisors Asif Mahmood and Mahfuz Alam, as well as National Security Advisor Khalilur Rahman. Ironically, Asif Mahmood himself was present at the meeting. Immediately after the meeting with the BNP, the chief advisor held talks with a delegation from Jamaat-e-Islami. The party's Amir Shafiqur Rahman stated that it is essential to clearly specify the date of the election. The party also called for a roadmap outlining electoral and administrative reforms but did not demand the resignation of any advisors. On the other hand, the National Citizens Party (NCP) called on the chief advisor to declare all elections held during Sheikh Hasina's tenure as invalid. Expressing a lack of confidence in the Election Commission, the party demanded its reformation and prompt arrangement of local government elections. NCP convener Nahid Islam stated that the student representatives who became advisors through the mass uprising do not represent any political party, but rather the people. He further added that the party has demanded the announcement of the integrated roadmap for the trial of the July massacre, the implementation of the July Charter, and the elections to the Constituent Assembly and Legislative Assembly. After meeting with the three parties, the chief advisor's press secretary Shafiqul Alam stated, Professor Yunus told the BNP during their meeting that June 30th is the cut-off time. The election will not go beyond June 2026. Umerumman Kranti, Daily Sun.
Hello viewers, welcome to another episode of Inside the Dressing Room. I'm your host Tubaid Iftikhar. Bangladesh team is going to be very busy soon with the Pakistan series. How they are going to do after the Dubai debacle. We are going to talk about that, and also we're going to talk about the Bangladesh A and New Zealand A match which finished in a draw in Mirpur. To talk about all that, I have Atif Azam with me. Atif, welcome to the show. As I've mentioned in the introduction that Bangladesh will be gearing up soon against Pakistan. But after the debacle of the UAE series, did you have any opportunity to talk to the players or the management? How is the mental situation over there?
I think they are going with a mixed feeling. Some of them were reluctant, but had to agree after the board insisted them to agree. Apart from Naidana, everyone else is available. But still there's a lot of reluctancy.
সব মশার বিরুদ্ধে সুরক্ষা দিতে এলো বসুন্ধরা এক্সট্রিম অ্যারোসল মশার বিরুদ্ধে এক্সট্রিম সুরক্ষা
But at the same time, we've always seen that Bangladesh have done well when their
the chips are down, exactly,
or backs against the wall. So they're expecting to make a good fight back. But I don't think that's really possible at this moment.
Right.
Because when you'll be playing Pakistan, they'll be coming with the top players of the PSL.
Right.
Under their belt, who have been playing T20 constantly. So they're in a much better shape physically. I mean, their muscle memory is much better prepared for T20 than the Bangladeshi cricket.
Atif, there's been always a lot of talk regarding the BCB schedule, what they do for the national team. They just played a T20 series in UAE, then they will play another T20 series in Pakistan, then they'll go for a break, and after that they have a full-fledged Sri Lanka tour, which includes, of course, test matches. How to fix this, or do you think this is what BCB is doing is apt and appropriate for the cricketers?
I think they don't have any other choice. Because the Future Tour program is always changing. But more or less it's been fixed for 4 years. So when you are having a Future Tour program, the best thing that they can do is that if they can have separate teams, then it fixes a lot of problems.
Right.
Because if the same player is playing the Test and the ODIs and the T20, then he gets stuck.
Right.
But if you have separate team, I don't say that you have separate team for 3 formats. I say you have separate team for red ball and
white ball. Exactly.
In that case, that can be a much easier for players to adapt.
Right.
But at the same time, you have to understand that we don't have a lot of players. So
right. That was my next question. That do you feel that Bangladesh have enough talent in the pipeline? Because we also saw the Bangladesh A versus New Zealand A match, which ended in a draw in Mirpur today. We saw some familiar faces over there, and they performed well. If I take names, Namul Bijoy, Zakir Hossain, all the players who are familiar played well. So no new talent. Do you think it's a bit of concern for BCB for the upcoming future?
if we had pipeline, then we wouldn't be picking Miraj for Tommo.
Exactly.
I think that speaks a lot. If you've got a good pipeline, then you would be picking up a player, like for like replacement. So that's one thing. And the second thing is that you're talking about familiar faces. I don't think that playing Anamul Haq or anyone with familiar faces have been playing cricket for so many years.
Exactly.
I think we need to make a plan regarding our A team and emerging team and all the HP teams. Like if there's a possibility, there should be 3 or 4 national team players in the A team. Whereas if you see, I think all of them have played in the national team, more or less all of them.
Exactly.
So that's not how things go in the A team. But what I feel is that we are a very result-oriented country, and being a result-oriented country, we always go for results. Because I was personally very disappointed to see emerging team win the championship.
Exactly.
By 2-1. Because when you are playing against South Africa and you are playing 4 spinners and 1 pace bowlers, that itself is demeaning. Demeaning in the sense you are winning the match, but are you really improving?
Exactly. And
when you got a team like South Africa,
right,
you should be you should be preparing a wicket where it encourages pace bowlers. In that case, what would have happened? You would have learned how to play pace bowlers in the middle overs.
The youngsters would have learned that.
Yes, because these wins, this series win, these are all fruitless unless it bears fruits for the national team.
Exactly. And Atif, very interesting that you've mentioned this topic of picking spinners, a handful of spinners.
Tensions and instability are running high across the country in the lead up to the election. In this context, the chief advisor of the interim government, Dr. Muhammad Yunus, held meetings with representatives from the BNP